Good evening, everyone. Sefer Yehoshua, Kapitel Gimel. We learned in the first half of the Perek, we learned about, first half till now, we learned about the mitzvah, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Yehoshua bin Nun, Al Tosu, about Yom Nosmoil, Gisa Bo Yom V'Layla. That's the of Yerusha Sa'oretz. That's the, right, as we know, the klal of going into Yisrael, the Kabbalah is the coming in the Eretz Yisrael. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Yehoshua bin Nun, Rak Chazak ve'ematz, the promise, Lo yarpecho, lo yazvecho, Chazak ve'ematz, ki imcho, b'chol asher teilech. And Rochov, we see, they also understood the same thing. She says, Yodati ki notan Hashem es ha'oretz, v'chi nofle imaschem, v'chi nomoigu kol yoish ve'ikenoan, kol yoish ve'oretz v'penechem. It fits very good the ideas together with what they do. The Rebbeinu Shalom, what the Rebbeinu Shalom asks, the Tnai of Chazak ve'ematz, about keeping the Torah. Then coming to the second part of the Sukkim of actually going into the Yarden, crossing the Yarden. And crossing the Yarden is not the first time in history. We do find that's what we see in Pasuk Vov Zion. We manage into the crossing the Yarden. Vayomer Yehoshua laKohanim leimor Seruas Aroin Abris ve'ivu lifnei Or va'isus Aroin Abris ve'yechu lifnei Or. Yeah, that we learned last week. We're on Pasuk Zion, Kapitel Gimel, Pasuk Zion. We are going into the Kriyas HaYarden, what's called Kriyas Yamsuf or Kriyas the Yarden. There is, I've seen the Meforshim, the Malbim, and the Abarbanel, many Meforshim will ask, what is the big ness as we see? Hayoim Hazeh, let's start the Pasuk inside. We speak about Kapitel Gimel Pasuk Zayin. Hayoim Hashem Yehoshua. Hayoim Hazeh, this day, Ochel Gadlecho Be'enei Kol Yisrael, Asher Yedu, Kasher Oisi Im Moshe Eye Imoch. I mean, that's the greatness. That's the biggest greatness. The Malbim, the Abarbanel, they ask, what's the big mess? What they need Risas Mei HaYarden? We find Yehoshua bin Nun says, Ki b'makli ovarti es HaYarden hazeh. What's the tremendous mess? Ki b'makli ovarti es HaYarden hazeh. What's the big mess? When Parshas Vayishlach, we find when Rashi brings from the Medrash Tanchume that the Medrash Tanchume that in the Parshas Vayetzei, HaKadosh Baruch Hu done a nest with Yaakov Avinu, and shenosan makloi bayardi v'nikra HaYarden. V'nikra HaYarden lefonov. So we see that also Yaakov had to have a nest across the Yarden. But we find Kriyas Yamsuf, we find the Yarden, we find another few times of the Yarden. We find also Eliyahu HaNavi. When Eliyahu HaNavi goes up the Seorah Hashomayma, we learned it in the Sefer Melochim, he crosses the Yarden with Elisha, and then he goes up Hashomayma. Elisha sees Eliyahu HaNavi going up the Seorah Hashomayma. He says, Ovi, Rechav Yisraelu Paroshav. He crosses back again, Nivika Yarden. We find the mice in the Gemara. The Gemara in Chulin tells us about the Pinchas ben Yair. He's going to do Pidyon Shvuim, and he comes to Nahar Ginoy, and he tells Nahar Ginoy, Chaloik li meimecho. So what the Nahar Ginoy tells him? Ani vada v'ata sofek. I definitely do Rotzon HaBoirech. By water running through my channel, there's definitely, I'm doing Rotzon HaBoirech. Boirech Shalom wants me that the water should go through, and I'm allowing it to go through. You are not so sure that you're going to do Rotzon HaBoirech. You're on the way to Pidyon Shvuim. Maybe they will agree to let the prisoner go free, or maybe it's not 100% that you're going to succeed. It's not 100%. So ani vadai v'atosofek. The sorry shel the sorry shel Yarden, the sorry shel Ginoy tells him now Ginoy. So what he tells him, so Pinchas ben Yair tells him, if you don't allow me to go through, goizrani olecho shelo yavu meiman be'olim. What's the pshat? He's threatening him. If you don't allow me to go through, and then he said, okay. He drives it out, and then he asks him for another yid, schlepping over there, chitim wheat for matzahs, and then even for the goy that's helping, he crosses again and again and again. And the shaila is, what is threatening him? What's all of this Kriyas HaYarden? What is happening over here? We do see that the Maharsha mentions that the big thing about Kriyas Yarden and Kriyas Yamsuf and all of these things is a big difference. Kriyas Yamsuf, we're mentioning Legoizer Yamsuf, Exorim, and we spoke about Kriyas Yamsuf. And suddenly over here we see that Mei Yarden is much bigger din, much bigger mess in a way. And also Nahar Ginoy, there's a difference before Matan Torah and after Matan Torah. Because when you go with the Matan Torah, when you go the Koyach HaTorah, everything is bullshit. It's not even such a big mess, as is the Maharsha. So, yeah, that's first of all. Now, when we look at the psukim over here, so it says, Vayomer Hashem Yehoshua, Hayoim hazeh ochel gadlecho b'einei Yisrael. There is ochel gadlecho. What is ochel gadlecho? There's a Medrash Rabbah in Koyeles, in Parsha Aleph, in Piskei Lamed Aleph. He says, Vayomer Hashem Yehoshua, Hayoim hazeh ochel gadlecho. Ze oyo roi leikosev Tchilas HaSefer. Right? Or Yoim Hazeh Ochel Gad Lecho, when Yehoshua ben Nun is going into Israel. He is the manik. This is a big question when we spoke about it a few times, many times, especially when we learn Tanakh. And the Torah we know Ein Mugdam Muchavatayra. What about the Sifnei HaNevi'im? So we find over in Medrash Koyeles. Medrash Koyeles says that Ein Mugdam Muchavatayra also in Tanakh. Like maybe Dafke in Sefer Yehoshua, as he mentioned, Ilmoli Lo Yichotu Yisrael, they would have only Sefer Yehoshua and not the rest of the Sfarim. They would not have the rest of the Sfarim. Why? Because the rest of the Sfarim is Teichoches of Klal Yisrael. It's only Teichoches of Klal Yisrael. So maybe it's not Tazaraya. We do find that the Medrash, the Gemara in Tiny says, Hayoyim Hazeh Ochel Gad Lecho Be'einei Kol Yisrael. Says the Gemara, Tonu Rabbonon. Shloisho Nigdemo Lohem Chamo Ba'avuron Moshe, Yehoshua, and Nagdimo Ben Gurion. We mentioned three people that the sun stopped for them. The sun stopped for them. Even though we mentioned all three, but it's not the same. The sun stopped moving for one, like Moshe, Yehoshua, and Nagdimo. It's not the same. Because by Yehoshua, we know the sun stood. It did not move. By Moshe, the same thing. We learned that what? It didn't go down. Masha'inke by Nagdim and Ben Gurion, it didn't stand. Is what? It continued to go back. And then it went back after the Shkia. It went back. The story of Nagdim and Ben Gurion, he had to pay back a choiv. There was no water for the oil regalim. So he went to the Caesar and he asked him, one of the ministers, and he asked him, he was a very wealthy person. He tells him, I want the water. And if I don't pay you back till that night, I will give you 12 kikois of a lot of money. And what happened is, he went into the Beis HaMerchetz, this sal, and he was very happy because he sees it's almost a shkia, and it was a sunny day. And there's no chance that it's raining. And what happened? Miyad straight over the Gemara, Nispazu Yodu Anonim, and it was raining. And when he comes out to Beis HaMerchetz, he tells him, "Hey, I filled up all the pit of all the boilers with water." He tells him, "No, it's already night. You owe me the money." State Miyad Nispazu Ovim Vezolcho Achamo. So it should have. We see it's a little bit different because over there it went backwards. What we see in the Gemara that Moshe, Yehoshua, Nagdim and Ben Gurion, and the Gemara speaks out. The Gemara says, "Bishloime Nagdim and Ben Gurion." Gemara. The Gemara tells us the whole story. Yehoshua ben Nun also states we can see later on in the Pesukim. Vayidoim Hashemesh v'Yoreach Omad. That's later on. We'll see. But where do we know about Moshe Rabbeinu? Ela Moshe we know not for the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Amar Blazar, we learned out from this passage. We learned out Yehoshua Asya Ochel Ochel. Yehoshua says over there the word Ochel. There's a different word that says Ochel. Ksiv Hoche Ochel Teis Pachdecho. That means it's a pasuk in Devarim, and it says Gad Lecho Beinei Kol Yisrael. That's our pasuk. We learn out the Ochel that we learned the Moshe Rabbeinu also. We don't know when, but Moshe Rabbeinu also was the Omdoloi Chama. The Gemara doesn't say when. Some say Samolek. Okay, so let's see the psukim inside. Says the pasuk. Hayoim Hazeh. What's the Hayoim Hazeh? Hayoim Hashem El Yehoshua. Hayoim Hazeh. What's the Hayoim Hazeh? That's the 10th of Nisan. You'll see later on in the psukim. Ochel, I will begin. Gad Lecho, give the Gedule that your name will rise, and be Kol Yisrael, all of Kol Yisrael, the nest of Kiryas Yamsuf, and that's going to be a simon for the people that, as we said before, in Kasher Yisi Moshe Eyaimach, and this will be the simon. This will be the simon. The same nevuah what Moshe Rabbeinu got, you also will get. Says the pasuk Ches, Ve'ato Tetzave es hakoyanim no yisei Aaron abris leimoy kevoyachem ad ketzei mei Yarden bayarden ta'amoidu. So he tells them, At Ketzai Yarden. What's Ketzai Yarden? Ketzai Yarden from the east. So they're coming from the east. They're coming from the east. So he tells them, At Ketzai Yarden, when you come to the east, by Yarden Ta'amoidu, you stand inside the Yarden till the rest of the people will cross the Yarden till the west of the Yarden, the west bank of the Yarden, and all of the people will go through. In this pasuk, we find that twice, the same like Moshe Rabbeinu, we find also that in the not only Moshe Rabbeinu, we find also Medrash Rabbe. The Medrash Rabbe in Bereshis, in Parsha Heit, the Medrash Rabbe Sokzoi. Vayomer Yehoshua al bnei Yisrael. Goishu heino. The next passage. Says the Medrash, Rav Hune zog von Omar. Zog von bein shnei badi oren. If you look at Rashi, Rashi brings it tzimtzem es kulon bein shnei badi oren. Rashi brings it down from the Medrash. וזה איכו בין המקוימוי שהחזיק מוטות es המרובה. So the lashon, if we look at the Medrash inside, Rashi just brings it the kitzur. We look at the Medrash inside, straight in the Medrash hazoi. Vayomer Yehoshua al bnei Yisrael goishu heino. Shnei badi oren. Omar Rav Achi bar Chanina somchon ben shnei badi oren. Rabbon Omar tzimtzemon ben shnei badi oren. Omar lo en Yehoshua mima שהחזיקו שני בדי אורן אסכם, אתם יודעים, that's the proof, ששכינוסי של הקדוש ברוך הוא בעיניכם. הדור הוא דכסיב, that's the pasuk, ויאמר יהושע, בוזוי סתידון כי קהל חי בקרבכם. So that's, we connected the two psukim, pasuk tes, with, it's like one big pasuk what we learned, and pasuk hey, קהל חי בקרבכם. What this means. So what is this hemshech of the psukim as we learned, pasuk daled, hey, vav, zayin, ches, what's the hemshech? We said, "Bezoi steidum ki keil chai bekir bechem." What's the keil chai bekir bechem? Keil chai. What's the keil chai? A different word of ki keil chai bekir bechem. So ki keil chai. Some Meforshim say that keil chai is davke keil chai. This b'derech klal we don't find the toyar of HaKadosh Baruch Hu as keil chai. The state from the Mekubalim is brought down in the Zohar that this shem of keil chai bekir bechem. It's a Shem that's mechuvet neged midas yesoid. And what that means, I saw it in the Sefer Mishbet Zoyzor, the Sefer. He says, it's the same like what we say in the Bris Mile. The Bris Mile, Parshas Lech Lecha, Al kei mischal zois, keil chai, chelkeinu tzorenu, tavei, right? As we say, keil chai. Man bris zoi, asher som bivsorenu. What's the pshat? What's this keil chai bekir bechem? And this is, we see pasuk tes and pasuk yud. There's also, if we continue the psukim inside, vayomer Yehoshua al bnei Yisrael. So let's see the psukim, then we're going to understand a little bit better the combined psukim and what we see of a keil chai. Vayomer Yehoshua al bnei Yisrael goishu eino. V'shimu es divrei Hashem lekeichem. Vayomer Yehoshua pasuk yud. Vayomer Yehoshua bazoi steidum. Again, ki keil chai bekir bechem. V'hoiresh yoirish ipeneichem es aknani, es achiti, es achivi, es aprizi, es agirgoshi, v'oimori v'yevusi. The way we understood it is the same thing. Again, we start. Ochel, I will begin. Gad lecho, I will give you gedulet, the klali soil, and you will see the nest of the whole. So we'll see, and this will be the same like Kriyas Yamsu, and this will be the siman. What I told you before, and that will be the siman. I told you before, and kasher you see Moshe Yeimoch. I told you before, and this will not second part, as we said. Now is the Kriyas Hayarden. Now is the proof that Kasher Oisi Moshe Yeimoch, this will be the proof. And that's why also the Nevueh, the Lashon of the Nevueh also fits very good together. Kasher Oisi Moshe Yeimoch. And the same thing also we find also by Moshe Rabbeinu. Before he goes to find the two Malchei Moiri, what is it over there? Hayoim hazeh ochel teis pachdecho, asher yeidun, leman asher yeidun. Again, the same Lashonas, what we told the Moshe, he's told over here because he will be the same as the Hemshach Hanoge of Moshe Rabbeinu. Meforshim say that. Meforshim say that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we mentioned with the Gemara in Tainis. Yeah, as both said David Azar. Yeah. Yeah, we find many times here. So this pasuk, Goishu Eino, what means Goishu? Is if we look at the, as you said, the lashon of Goishu. So the Goishu, the Choilom, right, in the iron is like a what's called Poyal Tzivui. It's a Poyal Tzivui, right? The new, but we don't find it there. We do find it. Where do we find it? The Sefer Rus. Goishi Haloim. The Goishi Haloim is the Choilom in the Be'ina Poyal, the Tzivui, the Poyal, the Poyal Anun, yeah. Goishi Elohim. And that's it's like we call it in the Mishkal on the weight, on the Mishkal is of a Poyal, Peule, Peoil, Tzivui, Peoilu, do it. Right? Shimu, listen to what the Goy say, Goishu. And that's we find the same thing when Yaakov Avinu comes to bless his kids. Same thing. So that's Vayomer Yehoshua b'nei Yisrael, Goishu Heino. V'Shimon Ziv Hashem Lekeichem, Vayomer Yehoshua in Pasuk Yud. Now this Pasuk, right? Pasuk Zayin was told only to Yehoshua. Pasuk Ches says, Ve'ato tetzaveh, that the nest, what would happen, And then we're continuing on to Pasuk Yud Aleph. Bnei Keil Choy. This is Elakim Chaim, it's Keil Choy. Okay, so let's go back to, as we said, the Medrash tells us that what the Pshat, Vayomer Yehoshua al Bnei Yisrael Goy Shueino, he said, Tzimtzemon el Badei Yo'oreh. And we find that Dafka over here, we see Bnei Keil Choy. No, Bnei Keil Choy, Ki Keil Chai Bekirvechem. What the Lashon Ki Keil Chai Bekirvechem? So as we explained, and it says this Ki Keil Chai Bekirvechem, we find this Lashon also in different ways. Ki Keil Chai Bekirvechem. When Klal Yisrael come into this soil, they come into this soil. We spoke many times. They come to be Metayel, the tumah of Avodah Zorah, the tumah of Eretz Canaan. Canaan is the tumah. To be mevatel, as we call it, the klipas tumas arayos, the arayos of what was in Canaan, Eretz Canaan. When they Yarshin Eretz Yisrael, the beginning of the bitul, when it began, the bitul of the arayos of Eretz Yisrael, by the Meraglim. The Meraglim, they first of all they came. They were machnia the tumah of Rochov Azoyna. That was the first thing. They were machnia Rochov when they came to Rochov, and they were not over aver with Rochov. The hemshech is Klal Yisrael have to do the hemshech to be metaket the ma'ase of, as we called shitim ovel hashitim, as we spoke about the alshich. We said many Meforshim say the same thing. We are makpid all time to come and say they came from ovel hashitim crossing to the Yarden. What we are mentioning again, ovel hashitim, they come to be metaket the ma'ase of shitim. And that's, as we know, the Midas Hayesoid. That's the Midas Hayesoid. When we look at the Pasuk, it says, Bezoi steidu, ki keil chai bekirbechem. And because keil chai bekirbechem, this is the keil chai, that's why v'hoyresh yoyrish v'benechem, it's a knani. That's the hemshach. Because it's keil chai bekirbechem, that's the Midas Hayesoid. You come to be metaken. By this, now you have the koyach, v'hoyresh yoyrish v'benechem, it's a knani, it's a chiti, it's a chivi. That is connected. It's brought down in Likutei Torah. I saw it this week in Pashas Lech Lecha. What's brought down in Likutei Torah? It's also brought down in the Agra de Kale. A lot of Chassidish is bringing down in Pashas Lech Lecha. B'Shem the Choyze, B'Shem the in Likutei Torah is also brought down that the seven goyim are connected the 7 midas of that's the connected the Sitra connected. Again. This is more divrei Kabbalah, but is I saw they being down. The agreg the kale he brings azoi. The kibalti sidron v'irash we say aknani keneged achesed. שבקליפו והוא אבס זרוס, האבוי זרוס. לכן נקרא הכנעני סויכל שמח לחי אוילום, ואנו ישרגע וחי שור. החיתי נגד גבורה, פריזי נגד נצח, יבוסי כנגד יסוי, רגושי כנגד מלכוס. And they bring down a lot of sforim bring down the same idea that this seven Kanani, Chiti, Prizi, Gerkoshi, and Moirin Yevusi are connected. We also know from it's both done in the Ramami Pano, so in Sefer Gilgulin and Shos, Ramami Pano, he brings the Shem of Chaim Chaim Vital. That the reason that Yehoshua married Rochov Azoino is because Rochov, he was a Gilgul of Yosef. And what Yosef did not marry Eishes Adoinov, he took her now. Rochov was a Gilgul of Eishes Adoinov Potifar, and now when she came down as a Gilgul of Rochov, he came and he married her. That was a tikkun, and she saw, right, because that's the Yosef and the son of Eishes Potifar. That was the Yehoshua and Yerichoi, the Kanti Machani al Klipe, and the Tume of Rochov, and that's the Yosef is Midas Hayesoid. Okay, so this is fits as we said. This is more the Divrei Kabbalah Shaboy as thing. We find, as we said, Vesach Girgoshi. So as Rav Moshe asked, and we live in Yisachas, as we know, this Tosis brings it up in Gittin, but it's Yerushalmi. The Yerushalmi says, the Yerushalmi in Shmis, Perek Vov Aloch Aleph, says the Yerushalmi Tosis brings it down in Gittin, bringing down Sholoish Parsigyoyos. Pristugmois. It's and the Yerushalmi says differently, Parsigyois, and it's over there it says Parsigyois, as I state in Yerushalmi. And that Sholach Yehoshua le'Eretz Yisrael. 3 letters Yehoshua sends to Eretz Yisrael. Before they came into Eretz Yisrael, that means before they came into Yisrael, he sends over there 3 different messages. What's the messages? He tells every one of the people over there, Mishu roitze le'afnois ifne. You want to go evacuate? Vakasha. Lehashlim, Do Shalom, Yashlim. Last is Milchama, Yasem. Gives them three choices. Three choices before they go into Tisol. There was three choices. You want to evacuate, you want to do Shalom, peace, or you want to come. The Girgashi state about the Girgashi, Pino ve'emin loy HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Where did he go? He go to Africa. They stayed up. The whole Africa. The Girgashi went to Africa. So what do we see? And this is what the Moshe is asking. That the Girgashi went Pino. That means what means Pino? He evacuated. He left. He went to Africa. So why over in the pasuk we see Girgashi? He's not there anymore. And even more than that, if we look later on in Kapitel Chav Dalet, Mamish at the end of Sefer Yehoshua. If you look in the end of Sefer Yehoshua, Kapitel Chav Dalet, pasuk Yud Aleph, he comes and he tells them, "Vatam was shouting." That's the words of Yehoshua before he's leaving the world. Yehoshua telling the people, the Jewish people, he's telling them, "Vatavu es hayarden, vatavoyu el Yerichoi, vayilachamu bochem ba'al Yerichoi." And who else was against you? Moiri, והפריזי, והכנעני, והחיתי, והגרגושי, החיבי, והיבוסי, ואתן לא יסביר אתכם. So the question is much stronger. Over here, no, you say now they didn't leave yet, so they're going to fight maybe the Girgashi. But it says that Yehoshua is telling Pasol, you fought against, you fight them all. Who? Prizi, Aknani, Achiti, Haggashi. How can you say that the Vatav was Ayadim, Vatavoy, Yericho, Velahamu, Baal Yericho, and Moiri, Girgashi, Vachiv, Vayivusi, Vetan, Isomiethem? It's a mefurish apostle, but the Girgashi, actually, they don't have the Kali son. But this question is more down already. There's the Ramban in Pasha Shmois, in Pasha's Boy, and the going on Aderes Eliyahu, and he brings down that a bit of the Girgashi actually did stay. Most of the Girgashi went down to Africa. They left and they Pino, as we said, they left and they left to Africa. This is the Nertisol, and these are the one that we see. Okay, but the question is still a very good question. Yeah. Let's see Pasuk Yud Aleph. So we have over here in Pasuk Yud, we learned that what the Chiti and all of the other things. If we want to look a little bit into these 7 nations, what we speak about, the Chivi and the Chiti, all of this. So who's the Chiti? The Chiti was a very strong, powerful, actually, very powerful nation. That they were, we find them many times. They sat really what's called today Asia Ktana. I don't know how you call it in the thing. That's in North Syria, Asia Minor, and North Syria, and it's from Syria, and they lived till the Nahal Pros in that area. Some of them, as we find that we find in Bereshis, right, in the Parshas and Bereshis, that they sat also in Hore Yehuda, around Hebron. They as the Chitim, and they are called always the Mamlechois Tzofim, the kings of the north. Mamlechois Tzofim, right? They are called always the Chitim. The Chitim is the one that was in the Mamlech thing. There were some that sat also in the south, and they are called the Chitim, or they really called Bnei Ches. You can see in the Pesukim, Bnei Ches, right? Okay. Yeah, that's right. And the Yavitz brings it down that the Chitim Stam is the one that live up in the north, and Bnei Ches are the one that live in the south. But again, they are the same thing. Then we come to the Chivi. Who are the Chivi? The Chivi sat in Hore Ephraim. We don't have today the map, but Hore Ephraim is not far from the Yarden, the mountains by the Yarden. We have the things, it's not the rap. That's the Chivi. They sat in Shevet, in Hore Ephraim, by the Shevet Binyamin, where Shevet Binyamin were. They're sitting, if we can look at the picture over here, around in this area. So basically, they're sitting in Ephraim. You can see over here, Ephraim till Ephraim and Binyamin. And if we want to be a little bit more accurate, they're sitting from Shechem. This is Shechem over here, from Shechem till Givon. It's also next to Yerushalayim, from the New Yerushalayim, and they're sitting there till Kiryas Yorim in the south. If we go to the west, Kiryas Yorim, and as we call them sometimes also Yoshev Hara Levonoin. They also sat from Yoshev Hara Levonoin, Baal Chermoin till Levoy Chamos. They're also part of the Chivi, sat also up in the north. The Prizi, the Knani is, we say it's a Shem Koilel or it's not a Shem Koilel. Depends, we look at the Knani. Yeah, sometimes depends, I think. The Brizi sits in
the Chivi were the ones that took the shtick with the Givonim, right?
Yes, the Chivi we can see later on in Kapitel Yudalef of there says they live Tachas HaChermoin be'eretz HaMitzpah. So Tachas HaChermoin be'eretz HaMitzpah, we see that actually they did live also up in the north. Hermoin is up in the north. Also the Chivi, the main settlements of the Chivi is down in the south. I mean south center, if we look at it over here. But they also sat on top of the Chivi, Tachas HaChermoin. The Brizi in Har-Ephraim and Ori Peruzoi. Some say that why they called Perizi, because in Har-Ephraim we didn't find much, as we see also in Shiras Devaira. We didn't find many Ori Choimo, a city that had big walls, and that's how it's called Ori HaPeruzoi. Perizi, they're all scattered. Har-Ephraim. Who's the next one? As we see in the pasuk, the Girgoshi. The Girgoshi, we don't see anything about where exactly in the psukim. We don't see where he sat, because we know Chazal say a Girgoshi pono v'olach just mentioned now in Yerushalmi and Shvi, the Moiri. The Moiri was also a very big nation, what we find many times, and they sat in Ever Yarden, the east of Ever Yarden. What's in Syria? They sat there, and many they were big, and it's called Eretz Moiri, and also they called as an Akkadit, Asian Bavel they spoke. It's called also Eretz Amru. Eretz Amru is also called, or Eretz Amru is always called also in Asian thing. It's called Eretz Amar, of the Western land. The Western land, because if you're looking at the empire of Ashur, of Babylon, of all the big empire, they sat all in the west. That's why it's called Eretz Amis in the Western land. They always sat in the west. That's the Emoiri. Yevusi is
Yerushalayim.
Right? Yeah. Kufas HaShoftim, it's called after Yevus. When you buy Yevusi, right? Buy Yevusi, and David HaMelech is taking over Yerushalayim from the Yevusi, and that's the last one of the 10 Amomim is the Yevusi. Yeah. The Bris Ben Absorim, what we learned in the past Shavua, Bris Ben Absorim, that was okay. Pasuk Yud Aleph. So that was the Agav, just to get an idea about these nations. Hine, Haroin Abris Adoin Kol Oretz, Oiver Lifneichem Bayarden. Hine is a call. Haroin Abris Adoin Kol Oretz. The Orin that's over there, the Luchos Abris, and there's the bris, the covenant between HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Adoin Kol Oretz, Oiver Lifneichem Bayarden. He will go first into the Yarden, and only then the Klal Yisrael will go after that into the Yarden. We learn from Hine Aroin Bris Hashem Oiver Lifneichem. Oiver Lifneichem. What means Oiver Lifneichem? Why Aroin Bris Hashem? Or what's the Aroin Bris Hashem that's going to come before everyone else? So in the Sforim HaKadoshim, the Zohar, Bereshis, it's more down that again we're going into the thing. There's a said that it's a sphere. So Malchus, because Avodas Bnei Yisrael, as we said, it's Mitzad Midasei Soid, the Keil Chai Bekir Bechem. But where we find the Adon Kol Oretz. What is Adon Kol Oretz? With Adon Kol Oretz, you're going to capture and to conquer Eretz Yisrael. Will be Yizgal Void, right? Yizgadal Shvei Rabo. How? By doing the Kibbutz Oretz. We know in the beginning, the first Rashi al what Rashi says, Ma Ta'am Posach Bevereishis. What's the reason? Mishum Koyach Ma Asov Higid Le'amoy Losis Loem Nachlas Goyim. Sheimeru Umois. The Umois will come and say, oh, Umois okay, so listim atem. You're robbers, it's ours. Kevashtem Artzis Shivo Goyim. So what Klal Yisrael answer them? Kol Oretz Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Hu Baro, he created it, and he gave it to us. Nosno La'asher, Rashi says, Nosno La'asher Yoshua Beinov. B'Ratzoinoi Nesolohem, u'B'Ratzoinoi Netolomeh V'Noisolonu. Kumtois. And we're coming and taking Klal Yisrael. We are coming, and what we are shouting out. We're shouting out. Adoin Kol Haaretz, the Rebbe Shalom, he's the Adoin Kol Haaretz. He decides who to give it to. Now here we came. The Bereshis Bara Elokim. Now we come to the point of Bereshis Bara Elokim to give to Klal Yisrael. That's a proof that he's Adoin Kol Haaretz. That he's giving it to us, taking it away from the Goyim. He's giving it to us now. The Gemara in Soite, when we learn the pasuk, Hine Aroin Bris Hashem, Hine Adoin Kol Haaretz Oivel Lifneichem Bayarden. We mentioned last week the Gemara in Soite, the Aflamid Gimel. The Gemara says the Keitzad Ovu Yisrael Sayarden, how they cross the Yarden. The Gemara says Bechol Yom, every day, Oroin Noiseya Achar Shnei Golim, to the Golim, right? And today They say Atrilo in front of the Golim. Why? Shenema, and the Gemara brings our apostle, Hine Aroin Haberis, Adoi Kolot, Oiver Lifeneichem Bayarden, even before the Golim. The Maharsha explains that this was only when they went in Chutz La'aretz. Chutz La'aretz is Tumah Seretz Amim, it's the mayor. There's a Tumah. So the Shechina cannot be Ikral Yisrael, right? Only in the middle. That means you have the Golim all around. We find the Pasha of the Masois. But once they come into Eretz Yisrael, and the Eretz has a Kedusha. There's no Tumah Seretz Amim anymore. There's no Tumah. So the Shechina comes in front of Klal Yisrael. And that's what we learned last week. Kalpaim Amo, Lifneim. He comes and he's showing them the way, right? Showing them the way. And that's the Pasuk, the Ramban said on the Pasuk, the Lekei Neichar Oretz. What's the Lekei Neichar Oretz? Says the Ramban, that is the Pshat. Hinei Aroin, a bris. The Shechina, he's Adoin, he is the one that was Adoin Oretz, that he was over Lifnei. There is a big machlokes in the Yerushalmi. We're not going to go into it, but this is a big machlokes in the Yerushalmi and Chale Perek Daled Alochet Daled. We spoke about it also in the Shurim of Choires. If the Yarden is part of Eretz Yisrael, the Yarden is not part of Eretz Yisrael. We could bring a bit of a raya from over here. What is the Yarden? Lefi this Maharsha. So okay, this is we're going to leave it maybe for next time to speak about. But that fits in what we spoke a lot in Taisim Choires. What is the Yarden? The Yarden is the thing. It says the Pasuk. So let's see the Hemshech of the Pasuk. The Hemshech of the Pasuk is Pasuk Yud Beis Ve'ato. And now he doesn't say later on exactly what should they do. These 10 people, these 12 people that come and represent Klal Yisrael, the 12 Shvatim. Kulochem 12 ish mishivtei Yisrael, ish echod lashovet. Vehoyo, Pasuk Yud Gimel. והויו כנויח כפו ישראל להכהנים לא יסערו אין השם אדוין כל האורת במי הירדן יקורסון המים היורדים מלמעלה ויעמדו נד אחד. The pasuk goes back to pasuk Yud Aleph. מי הירדן יקורסון, they're going to stop. They're flowing down, they're going to stop. מלמעלה, from the Sophoin, from the north. They're coming down because the Jordan is coming down from north down to south, right? We have the Yarden, it's coming down from north down. So it's going down from the north down to the south. And what means Nade? What means Nade? What's the word Nade? So Rashi says, Nade Kotzir Loshon Goy Chen Chibron Menachem. Rashi doesn't really explain this Nade. What do you say, Arav Cohen? What is Nade? Oh, so that's the Metzudas. The Metzudas says, Teil v'kibutz achas v'chein nitzvu kemoid neid noizeli. Neid means a tel, a mountain, right? And that's what he brings over here. Menachem goiva. That's what Rashi brings of Menachem ben Suk is the thing. And we find in the many in the Targum, if we look what the word neid is, a choima, a wall, a mountain, something that is. And that we find the similarities between Kriyas Yamsuf and Hamayim Loim Choimo Miyaminam or Mismoilom. The same thing we find over here. Also, the Neid is like very similar to a Choimo. And that's Neid Echod, what we find, right? By the Miyaminam Mismoilom. Over here was only Neid Echod, not like Kriyas Yamsuf, a little bit less. But Mitzad we find it over here was even greater than Kriyas Yamsuf. And I saw the Chazal Avramsky brings in Tosefte, it brings that over here was greater than Kriyas Yamsuf. Kriyas Yamsuf, Klal Yisrael standing over there, they say, they're davening, and Akash Baruch Hu tells them, Matitzak Elai, Abod Yisrael Yisrael. And who jumped to the Yamsuf? Nachshon ben Aminadav. Because the state in the Medrash, only because he jumped into the Yamsuf with the Mesiras Nefesh, and he gave my mention of his nose, and he was about to drown, and only then happened the Kriyas Yamsuf. That's to prove the Mesiras Nefesh. Over here he says, just the feet, just like the feet hit the water straight away. This is exactly, says Reb Chatzkel Avramsky, this is exactly what we spoke before in the beginning. The Koyach HaTorah is different. Koyach HaTorah. Now we talk about after Matan Torah. Before Matan Torah, impossible to happen. We need the Mesiras Nefesh. After, once we have the Torah, it can that will work. ויהי בנסוע יהום מעוליהם לעש הירדן והכהנים לא יסערון הבריס לפני יהום Vayibin Soya is like very similar to Vayibin Soya Aron, what we see, right? Vayibin Soya Aron, Vayibin Soya. Miole, from the place where the tents were, where the parking was, Aron Abris. What's Aron? Habris. What's the slush on Aron Abris? So Radak already finds it a little bit difficult. He says Aron Habris Choser. Aron Haroin Haberis. It doesn't fit the lotion of a Haroin Haberis. The Radak explains that this is mikro kotzo. That means sometimes you have to add words like Aroin. What's Aroin? Aroin Haberis. Aroin comes as because we say Vayibin Soya, and we know the pasuk Vayibin Soya Aroin, so it's Vayibin Soya Aroin Haberis. Aroin Haberis. In front of me, Vehayarden. Pasuk Tesvav. Vehaya ukevoi noise Aroin ad Hayarden. V'ragle hakohanim noise Aroin nitbelu b'ktzei hamayim. Just to that. Vehayarden mole al kol gedois of kol yemei kotzil. I'm telling us this is not said before and was the big nest. In the end of the winter, when the snow of the Hermon is melting, and Yarden is full of the whole winter. עמדו המים היורדים מלמעלה קומו נדר אחד הרחק מאוד מאודום, אודום או עיר, שמצד צורסו והיורדים על יום הערובו, ים המלח תמו נכנסו ואום עוברו נגד יריחו. So in Pasuk Tesvav, we say Ve'ayarden. What's the Vav? So what's it called? Vav HaMatzev. That means in that time, the Yarden was Me'ol Kedoisov. Ve'ayarden. Mole Al-Kol Kedoisov. What is Mole Al-Kol Kedoisov? That was from one side to the other side. Bederech Klal, most of the year, in the summer, the Yarden is not a very wide. Now we're saying that this was very wide. Mun Neid Echod, in Pasuk Tes Zayin, as we said before, Archik Me'oid, from a place where it was called against Yericho, Neged Yericho, Be'odom, a city was called Odom. Now, we shouldn't have a mistake and say it's called Oir, Odom, Oir. Odom is called Odom. Tzoroson. What is Tzoroson? The Tzoroson, some say it's Trader. You remember Trader? Where's Trader? You remember both? Both should know. Yerovam ben Avot was born there. Where Yerovam ben Avot was born. Trader, yeah. Are you talking about Yosef is Trader? Yeah. Some say that Trader is what's called Sartebo. Sartebo is one of the places what we find in the Mishnah Rosh Hashanah, Mishom Mesin Masuos. And that's Yom HaRova. Yom HaRova is down. So let's see that Yom HaMelach is the Yom HaMelach. Says the Pasuk Yud Zayin, Vayandu HaKohanim Lo Yisrael Bris Hashem B'chorovo. It was dry. They were prepared. V'chol Yisrael Oyrim B'chorovo Ad Hashem Kol HaGoy La'aver Es HaYarden. B'chorovo means like Be'abosha, what we find over there. Chovu Hamayim Me'al Haaretz, right? Chovu Pnei Adom. And the same thing was in Kriyas Yamsuf. Vayosem Es Hayom Chorovo. Hochein, what means Hochein? Hochein means that you are prepared. Prepared for this job. Kol Yisrael, as Kol Yisrael is oiving too, it was all dried. Okay, so we're going to stop over here in Kapitel Daled. We went a little bit past the last Sukkah because we want to catch up with what we start looking at the Daled Sukkah. Right, I go to Shkoyach, and Hashem, we're going to start Perek Daled next week.